What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. So a lot of people, are using Ozempic, Wegovy, these GLP-1s. Now, my job is to talk about the positives and the negatives so you can come to your own conclusion of if it's right for you or to advise your family and friends. So I come and I bring you all this data, research, along with my opinion, so hopefully you can make the best decision for your health. Now, the thing is, with Ozempic, Wegovy, they're not tested long-term, and we're still learning about them. So they're doing tons of data. And this article came from newscientist.com. And I thought it was fascinating. I want to share it with you, and I'm going to read it to you. And then we go ahead and we could talk about it, discuss it. Of course, comment down below, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell, and let me know your thoughts. Comment. So anyway, let's go on. Semaglutide, the drug in medications like Ozempic and Wegovy, causes mice to exercise less. The findings suggest these weight loss medications may reduce people's motivation to work out. Semaglutide helps treat type 2 diabetes and obesity by mimicking a hormone called GLP-1, which regulates blood sugar and suppresses appetite. I also might add the dosing is much less when given for diabetes as when given for obesity. So this dosing we're using now is causing a lot of side effects we didn't see before because it causes gastroparesis, which is paralysis of your gut, which slows digestion, which can cause nausea and a bunch of other side effects that I've actually met a ton of people personally that have experienced this. GLP-1 also dampens activity in the brain, regions involved in reward processes and cravings. Now, this article, I read it before, it actually mentions this. This is why they are exploring it for use with drug addiction, because you take away that reward, that dopamine-like reward from doing drugs and eating yummy food. You might potentially have something that can help with drug addiction, right? This may explain why people on semaglutide-based medications don't find eating as rewarding or pleasurable as they did before taking the drugs. Also, it is probably why some studies have indicated semaglutide may help treat substance use disorders as well. So, Ralph DeLeon at Yale University and his colleagues wanted to know whether semaglutide affects other rewarding behaviors too, such as exercise. You ever feel really good after training, like you accomplished something? If this takes away that reward, it can also take away people's motivation to exercise. So, which is known to improve mood and memory. So they treated 7 mice. I know it's a small study, but we're going to talk about it. Again, I'm not here to crap on Ozempic, not here to do that. With semaglutide and an equal number with a placebo for a week and measured how far the animals ran on an exercise wheel each day. On average, those treated with semaglutide ran about half the distance of those given a placebo, suggesting they may have a lower motivation to exercise. To further validate this, the researchers treated a separate group of 15 mice with semaglutide and another equal-sized group with a placebo for 5 days and explored their willingness to exercise on a wheel. Fascinating. Again, rodents aren't humans, but we're looking at behavior, and this might lead to other studies. However, this time the exercise wheel periodically locked up while the animals were running on it. To unlock it, the mice had to press a lever with their nose. Each time the wheel locked, it became progressively more difficult to unlock, requiring the mice to press the lever each additional times. Eventually they quit, say De Leon, who presented these findings at the Society for Neuroscience meeting in Chicago on October 7th. We call that their break point, and it gives us a surrogate for how motivated they are to access running wheels. The maximum number of times the mice treated with semaglutide pressed the lever was, on average, 25% less than that of animals in the control group. The researchers repeated the experiment with the obese mice and found similar results. Together, these findings suggest that semaglutide-based medications such as Ozempic and Wegovy may reduce motivation to exercise, similar to how they reduce cravings for food or drugs. However, there hasn't been any evidence, no evidence, indicating that this is the case in people. This may be because most data on Wegovy and Ozempic comes from people enrolled in weight loss programs that includes exercise. Still, he says, these findings underscore the potential of these drugs to interfere with positive behaviors, not just negative ones. The data suggests there are still motivated behaviors that may be altered with semaglutide that we haven't asked about yet. So, here's my thought. There are a couple alarming things about Ozempic. Number one is once you come off it, what happens? A lot of people who are taking this are not modifying their lifestyle. If you use this as kind of a kickstart to lose the weight and then keep it off, we know from current data, from past data, that people who exercise more are more likely to keep weight off. Exercising is fundamental in keeping weight off. The outright bar is back in stock. So here's what we did. As you know, the bar is the best when it's the freshest. So what we did, we ran out of all inventory and we are bringing them back. 3 to 4 bar flavors at a time, week after week after week after week. If you go to the outright bar page on tigerfitness.com, it has the dates listed to when your favorite outright bar is back in stock. So go to tigerfitness.com now and stock up on your favorite outright bar. Diet helps you lose the weight. Exercise helps you keep it off. So if people are not exercising, they're gonna gain the weight back. On another note, if people aren't weight training, resistance training, and eating adequate protein, the weight they lose will be mostly muscle. That's why we see the increased muscle loss, because people are losing weight so fast because the dosing is so high. I was listening to a Huberman podcast, and he was talking to a guy who said that they compound this stuff, but they give them way less of it. And that lessens the side effects and all the negative things and the muscle wasting. So you keep your protein high, keep your resistance training, and that mitigates a lot of the issues. The problem is the prescribed standardized dose is way too high. So people lose all this weight. They lose all this muscle, which is going to drop their metabolic rate. So what's going to happen? They come off of it. There is preliminary data in rodents that Ozempic, GLP-1s, whatever you call it, that it might cause hyperplasia in fat cells. Hyperplasia is the division of fat cells, meaning your body produces more fat cells, meaning that when you come off of it and you start gaining weight back, you will gain more than you had before because there's more ability to gain fat because you have more fat cells. That's another issue. So the way to mitigate this, in my opinion, is to go to a doctor who can titrate the dose down and have you on a lower dose. That will mitigate a lot of the side effects. Another thing is make sure to get adequate protein, even if that's all you eat. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Another thing I'd recommend is at least 3 days a week of resistance training, training hard, going within 1 rep or 2 reps of failure. Training hard, training for hypertrophy, putting your body under load to maintain the muscle. But I do think this, as well as all prescribed drugs for fat loss, should be a last resort. Try to fix it with lifestyle and diet modifications. Exercise more. Hire a coach, right? Hire a weight loss coach. Just the accountability will help you. I do it, marclobliner.com, but that gives you the accountability. That gives you the accountability. Another thing, they're all natural alternatives. Again, not telling you to take anything. We do have an appetite suppressant called No Morbidity at Ambrosia. No Morbidity works through very similar mechanisms with none of the side effects. Am I claiming it's like GLP-1? I'm not making any medical claims, but I will say based on the people that Alan Roberts and people like me work with, the results are very similar, if not better, with any of the side effects from our experience. Again, just our experience. It's called No Morbidity. You can find it at tigerfitness.com. I'll link it down below. But that's not the point of this video. If you can do it on your own, or you go the natural route It's very expensive. You're looking at around $1,500 a month. Can you do that on your own? I believe in you. I think you can. If you need a little natural help, No Morbidity is like $50 for a month. It's worth a try. Or do it without No Morbidity and just have some willpower. I know it's hard. Look, lifestyle modification is hard. I understand. You didn't get fat by being able to control what you eat. I'm not saying it's easy, but I believe in you. However, as a last resort, here are my recommendations. Number one, go to a doctor or clinic who gets their GLP-1 compounded to give you a lower dose than what you would be prescribed by the doctor. Now, the reason they're allowed to do that is because the actual patent for this is for the pin that injects it into you. So it's a standardized dose. If you get it through a compounding pharmacy, you are able to get a lower dose made for you. Again, I don't know any doctors who do it. You would have to research that yourself. But the dude on Huberman's podcast, he explained it all. So compounding is one idea. Another thing is if you do go on this, be very conscious of what you're feeling. Are you feeling sick? Are you feeling nauseous? Do you feel nasty? Are you too nauseous to train? If that's the case, then maybe this is not the drug for you. If this alters your lifestyle in a negative way, everybody can lose weight. It's just a matter of finding out what works best for you. If you do good with a GLP-1 and you can afford $1,500 a month if your insurance doesn't cover it, by all means, if it works for you. However, before going on this, I highly suggest that you try everything you can, whether that's diet and training and lifestyle modification, whether it's trying ambrosia, no morbidity, whatever it is. I would try everything else first before resorting to this. Because with all the new data coming out, from the behavioral modifications to the potential hyperplasia of fat cells, for me, I'm just like, it has its place. I do think it has its place, but I would use it as a last resort. Anyway, guys, please let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Go to tigerfitness.com through the end of the month. Coupon code TRICK, T-R-I-C-K, TRICK, gets you 10% off the entire site, including ambrosia, no morbidity, including our creatine. By the way, if you're on Ozempic, take creatine. Creatine will help you preserve muscle. Will it mitigate everything Ozempic does? I don't think anything can mitigate not eating and not training. Nothing can do that. However, it will help. Go to tigerfitness.com now. Support us. Support this channel. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to comment down below. Subscribe to this channel. That's not a game. Fish oil is one of the staple supplements that you should take. Now, for me, I like to have a 2-to-1 EPA to DHA ratio. Now, DHA is awesome. A lot of cognitive benefits come from DHA, but if you get anti-inflammation and things that we go through as people who want to train, who want to be active, want to feel great, you want slightly more EPA. That's why I created MTS Nutrition Fish Oil. Now, this is a 2-to-1 EPA to DHA ratio. It is fantastic, and it has citrus, so it's not going to give you the fishy burps. And the way we make it, it's not going to be rancid. That's one thing you got to fear. A lot of these fish oils, they can go rancid and actually be more bad than they are good. But we actually don't have that problem with MTS Nutrition Fish Oil. The dosing I recommend will be above label. Label, we just take one soft gel or as directed by a fitness professional or a medical professional. But for me, I like to take 3 grams of total EPA and DHA a day combined. So with that said, I take 5 MTS Nutrition Fish Oil a day. Now, I love my brand. I recommend it. It's a tremendous value. Available right now at tigerfitness.com. If you want a great fish oil, if you want to support a company who loves you, support a company who doesn't hate you, support a company with the best customer service and people, American family-owned company, MTS Nutrition, tigerfitness.com. Get your fish oil today.